Hey everybody, welcome to War Budgies. It is January 2021, which means so far the apocalypse has done a lousy job of killing us. And honestly, as long as I'm still around, I have a camera, and I'm caffeinated, I'm making Fallout. So welcome today to Fallout Season 3, the Welcome to Daylight narrative campaign. If you're new to the channel, Fallout Season 3 does in fact imply the existence of Fallout Seasons 1 and 2. You don't have to go back and watch those in order to understand what's going on. I will try to make it self-explanatory. But if you'd like to go back and watch those, then you'll get an idea for some of the characters and some of the events that have helped bring us to this point. That said, this season is going to be a little bit different because this is going to be a choose-your-own narrative campaign format, which means audience interaction, which is as terrifying for me as it is for you, but we're going to see how it works. The way this is going to work is once you're done watching the battle report, there'll be two things I'd like to ask of you. First, after you've done watching the video, there will be a link in the description below that will take you to a poll, and that poll is going to have a few options. And what I'd like you guys to do between now, this is going out on Sunday morning, between now and we'll say midnight on Wednesday, vote for what you think the characters should do. There will be a few different courses of action, and this will be after every episode. So we'll have a story, you guys will decide what the characters do next, and then I'll take roughly 2 weeks, or a week and a half, to write scenarios, play test them, film them, edit them, and then have them out. So every other Sunday we'll have an update, and you guys will then choose the next course of action. Secondly, after you've watched the battle report, pick your MVP. Who do you think had the most clutch dice rolls, who did the best, or who failed hilariously? And let us know in the comments who that was. If someone's already put that character, just give them a thumbs up. Because on Monday morning, so this will just be for the first day the battle report's up, on Monday morning, I will see which character has the most thumbs up. That character will get a random boost card in the next episode. But that's a long enough intro. This is a very experimental setup. I've not done this kind of thing before. I'm looking to do this kind of long term. We'll see where the story takes us. I've got a bunch of different side quests and all sorts of things that could happen, maybe happen, will probably happen, who knows? You guys know, because you're choosing, you're picking the action. With that said, welcome to episode 1 of Fallout Season 3, Welcome to Daylight. It's been months since the war in the Wasteland ended. And though the Brotherhood broke the back of the Red Hand and sent them scattering into the wild, there are plenty who say that all we did was trade a psychopath for a tyrant. The remnants of the Red Hand still infect the Wasteland, and now patrols of Brotherhood Knights stalk the wilds. And here we are in the middle of it, scratching out an existence and scavenging our life one container at a time. And here's our ragtag gang of heroes from Season 1, still hanging on, although the war in the Wasteland has not been kind to them and they're a little lacking on equipment. Since we're starting off a settlement mode, they will be starting with just their starting equipment from their AI card, and that will grow as the settlement moves on. So on the right there, our leader and the star of the show is Nora, the sole survivor. She has a heroic card, because she is the boss, a hunting rifle, no pistol at this point in time, and that's really about it as far as her equipment goes. She is a sole survivor as per the card. Dogmeat is still Dogmeat, he's hanging in there. Our buddy Codsworth still putting around with his flamethrower and his buzzsaw. He's actually kind of the beat stick now that we've removed all their equipment from last season. And Benji is on the far left there. He does not have a baseball bat at this point. It has been broken on a mutant hound, probably. He has no power armor, which makes him very sad on the inside and the outside. And he is packing a bolt-action pipe rifle. He'll be using the scavenger card this time instead of the settler, just to bring us some more skills to this party. And here's our representatives from #Mutant Gang. On the far left there is a star of the show. He is our leader with no leader card for now. That is a brute with a sledgehammer and a dose of fury. We've got 3 mutant hounds stock right out the box, and 2 super mutants with boards and bolt action pipe rifles, also right out the box for the starter episode. And here is the board setup for today. We are starring a Matt from Table War. We've got some lovely terrain, some of it scratch built, some of it little pieces here and there. We've got a gorgeous Modifius crashed vertibird over here, which is a fun kit. The scenario for today is going to be the Find the Key scenario from the Battle for Sagas, whatever. Battle for the Ironworks packet. That was sent by a friend of the channel, John Woolley. Thank you very much for that. He sent us that and actually sent us some legitimate luck dice. We don't have to keep flipping tokens. Good sport, that man. But anyways, here is the scenario. So we've got a weapons cache or some sort of equipment all locked up here at the back. And the winner is whoever can open that box within 5 rounds. Nobody opens it in 5 rounds, it will be a draw. There are 3 ways to open it. If a model has strength 7 or more and a melee weapon, they can make 3 successful strength checks in order to open it. I believe the strength checks, yes. 3 successful strength tests will open that box and immediately win the game. There's a computer terminal right next to it, so any model can make 2 successful use computers checks in order to open that up, or one of these 3 markers happens to be the key. And any model with the key can simply walk up to the box and open it. So it's a 5-round scramble. We've got the muties deployed over here. Hound's a mutie, mutie and hound, and the brute. And then over here, we got Benji with his baseball bat, his imaginary baseball bat, Codsworth, Dogmeat, and Nora. So the game is to sprint into the middle, try to find the keys, try to figure out how you're going to get that box open, and try to do it inside 5 rounds. Let's get this game on. Now the survivor strategy here, since they are outnumbered 4 to 6 on the field, is going to be to run out early, try to find the key, and barring that, try to clear the brute away from the box so that he can't open it, and also they might be able to get someone close enough to get to the computers. So with that in mind, we're going to lead off with our good old boy Dogmeat. Since Nora is heroic and she has a dog handler perk, he's next to her, so he will count as heroic. We're going to do a VATS roll for the pup. VATS on bottle cap. Dogmeat's got VATS. It's probably medicine for that. Dogmeat will take a quick action to move up yellow, shorter than his usual red distance, but with a black awareness range that puts him within range to see what this token is in the center. So let's flip it. And that is not the key. And that's a sad Dogmeat. But that's all right, he will move down red for his first full action. And take a look over here at this one. Objective 2 turned out to be the key, which is both good news and bad news. So on the good news part, Dogmeat will move up, another red towards it, but he is out of both actions and he can't use his last quick action for another move. The problem is this is the one that is closest to the bad dudes, or at least the big green dudes. Dogmeat will use his final quick action to prepare, and he is done for this turn. As the battle lines have now been crossed on this side, the first of the mutant hounds is going to rush forward red, also being a sprightly doggo, and is going to charge around as a second action into Dogmeat. Dogmeat, of course, is going to react, as dogs do, and take a chomp before we can get this going. So our first attack roll of the new season is going to be the Hound Dog Special. Yellow, blue, and green hitting on 4s instead of 6s because of a quick action. Get him, Dogmeat. He's such a good boy. The Mutant Hound has only 1 armor, and there was 1 armor break, so takes 2 damage right off the bat. Mutant Hound will then close out the turn, taking a black die for the charge, and we will move back to Survivor turn. So looking over the skill cards, both Codsworth and Nora have a pretty good chance of getting into that computer, 7 and 5 respectively. Benji has a computer skill of 2. He's still thinking in DOS. So he is going to move forward to support Dogmeat while those 2 make him play for the container. Benji will take a yellow move forwards around the rocks. And not liking to shoot into that combat just yet, he's going to take a second move up here and get some cover from that car. On the mutie side, the super mutant will hustle forward yellow. And he has no such compunctions about shooting into melee and will open up with his bolt action pipe rifle. He's shooting into melee, so he'll be hitting on 6s with a black die for long range. And hits with a bonus damage. But who does he hit? 1 to 3 is going to be the dog, and 2 or 4 is going to be the mutant hound. And the winner of today's bullet lottery is... it's the Hound. That's just how it goes, I guess. So that's 3 physical damage against 1 physical armor, and if he rolls a 2 or higher, then the Hound just straight up dies, because he's already taken 2 from Dogmeat. Yep, there it goes. Spray of bullets, Hound Dog goes down. It's hard to capture the surprised look in Dogmeat's face, but I'm sure it's there. And that will close out Mr. I'm a danger to myself and others. On survivor turn, Codsworth will full steam ahead, pip pip, moving up red. I apologize to my British viewers. And one more time. It's coming in. We can go and remove this last token, since we know where the key is now. Puts him within spitting distance, were he not a robot, of the cargo container. Mutant Hound up here on the north flank is going to be having none of that. So he will lumber forward. Whoop. Red distance, and not quite getting in range. He'll let me move another red. Right in front of the computer terminal for those cargo crates. Our last stop is the head boss herself, Nora, who will roll for VATS. Yeah, she also gets double VATS. Somewhat unsurprisingly, she'll use her first one for a move action, move quick action, followed by yellow move up, come to support Codsworth here, and finally another yellow move which will bring her right up to the crashed vertibird, and will give her just barely a shot at the Mutant Hound. She'll be hitting on 5s at short range with the hunting rifle, quick action. Not quite, but otherwise that could have been good. But there's no point in being heroic if you're not going to be heroic now and then. So since she has 4 luck, we're going to use one of our brand new luck die. And if she succeeds, that will lower that result by 2, making it a 5 and a hit. And she is lucky today. That puts 2 damage straight on the Mutant Hound thanks to the armor break, and 1 crit point on the hunting rifle. That's all we have for Team Survivor, so we're going to jump over and do the last 3 representatives from Team Mutie. Our last Mutant Hound is going to take a move and an easy charge. Swing around into Dogmeat. Try to succeed where his predecessor failed. Our other mutant has advanced up. Didn't really have a clean shot, so he just wanted to get up here in the action. And Brutus, the Brutastic Brute, is going to scoot up behind the dog. He's not going to use his Fury yet, because it only lasts for 2 rounds, so he's going to save that for hopefully next turn when he's in the thick of things. That closes out turn 1. We've lost a Mutant Hound down here at the bottom, but otherwise we've pretty well squared up the dogs, Benji, and slightly greener, meaner Benji. We got people filtering around to sort of make a flashpoint near the cargo container. Not sure who's going to be able to get to that one first. The Mutant Brute possibly could break it open, or either of these two could hack it open. So we'll find out moving into turn 2. Our event card is kind of a disappointment for the survivors. We've got a static buildup from all these dogs running around. All computer skills this turn are at a -2 penalty. That sucks. And leading off Survivors Team 2, Dogmeat is going to try to take down this Hound. He is no longer close to Nora, so he will not be heroic this turn. He's just going to be a boss. Hitting on 6s. No, okay. Slightly less of a boss than usual. Attack number 2. That's more like it. He breaks through the armor as before and takes his quick action as a prepare. Now the problem is this super mutant over here, he rolled pretty lucky on the AI chart, and he remembered the fact that there's an objective in play. So he will move up yellow, open up the toolbox, and he will pick up the key. And thus armed, he will start trucking his way up towards the cargo container. If he reaches it, he can discard the key and immediately open the container, which will result in a survivor loss. Our boy Benji is feeling very sad without his power armor, because he's not a very good shot with his rifle, and across cover he's not likely to stop that guy. So it is time for teamwork. He's going to hustle up yellow, and then make a red charge into the Mutant Hound. May not seem like the most helpful thing, but that means that next turn, Dogmeat can break away without penalty or without risking an attack, and Dogmeat can go do what Dogmeat does best. Benji will take a black die for that charge, and we are back to the Muties' turn. I have to pause and show this off real quick. I've been using a D6 to roll on the AI to see who goes next, and I found these at the game store. This is a plastic, I think Steve Jackson Games. It is a D6 bullet. So let's see, on a 4, that means the Brute is going to go next. So the Brute is going to go ahead and use his Fury. It will give him +2 armor on both and a bonus in melee, or a bonus damage in melee, but only for 2 turns. Thankfully, if you own the AI card, he's mostly forgotten about the fact that he's standing next to the cargo crate. Well, instead, since he's just out of charge range, move up yellow and then charge our lovable robot with the rest of his turn. Over on Survivor turn, we're going to jump over to Nora and see what she's got as far as VATS. VATS roll for Nora. 1 quick action. She's going to use that quick action to make an orange move up onto the wing of the vertibird. Get some elevation there. And from there, she can draw a nice line of sight over to the guy with the key. At some point, you just have to assume that Codsworth can fend for himself for 2 seconds. That's going to be a long distance shot hitting on 7s. Good, solid hit. 2 damage against 1 armor. And he takes 2 damage. So before she takes her second attack, Nora will try to flip a luck token or roll a luck die, see if she can generate an extra crit point. And she does. That fully charges the rifle. Hunting rifle is going to automatically hit for 4 physical damage plus 2 green die for the long shot. Here's our 2 green die. That armor break was super valuable right now. Because as mentioned before, he's only got 6 health, so 4 damage go through. His 1 armor means nothing, and he drops to the ground, dropping the key where he lies. Super Mutant rolls AI and is still oblivious to the objective, so he will advance up just to get closer to the action, and will put a pipe rifle shot into Nora. Hitting on 2s for her being in cover. Not even close. And in the epic duel corner, Codsworth will have it thee. Hitting on 6s, yellow dice for the buzzsaw. Good hit from Codsworth. The problem is that's 2 damage, and he's currently at 4 armor because of the Fury, at least for this round. So if he rolls a 1, he'll take a damage. He takes 1 damage. An attack from Codsworth. That's a miss. You get a miss at that range. You got 3 friggin' eyes. The only contestants left are going to be the 2 mutant hounds, so we'll go ahead and roll those 2 through. Over here in this kerfuffle, the mutant hound is going to go for Dogmeat with his attacks. Got the mutant hound special with a green die for the charge, hitting on 6s. Ooh, wow. All right, solid hit. He's going to knock off Dogmeat's prepare action, and 5 damage total. Bad puppy. Now the upside to surviving that is that Dogmeat is a unique survivor model, so he starts the game with 2 strong armor tokens, making his armor save for this 2 + 2. So 1 + 2, he blocks 3 of them. His strong armor goes down to 1, and he takes 2 of his health, which is honestly not bad considering the power of that attack. Mutant Hound coming in again, minus the green die because the charge bonus no longer applies, hitting on 6s, Dogmeat again. And another hit with armor break this time. So Dogmeat's now facing 3 damage. His armor is down to 1 + 1. Oh, he only blocks 1. He'll take 2 more. I think this hound might be one of the pancakes from last season. This is a performing unit right here. Speaking of absolute units, this dog is going to make an easy short charge up onto the vertibird and try to challenge Nora for the high ground. Rolling green die for the charge on 6s. Man, these dogs are amazing. It's 4 damage against her 3 + 2 armor. So she blocks 3 of them, takes 1. And that closes out turn 2. We've pretty much centered down into 2 problem areas. We've got this down here. Dogmeat was going to make a daring escape if his reaction token hadn't got knocked off there. So as it is, he's taking a beating. The key's just laying out here in the open for anybody to grab. but everyone's kind of concerned with this area up here. We got Nora and the Hound dueling up top. We got the Brute is about to collide into Codsworth, and this mutant is just standing there wondering what to do with his hands. So hopefully he doesn't remember that there's an objective. But we will find out moving into turn 3. Our event card for turn 3 is going to be a Mole Rat Tunnel. So we're going to place a counter at the center of the battlefield. Anybody who comes within yellow is going to have to test luck, or maybe they get a bite. The center of the battlefield is this crate, but instead of using a counter, as of this week, we have mole rats. I actually was able to paint up some mole rats, so there's our counter now. What makes this kind of fun is the keys right here, and the cargo containers right there, so odds are somebody's going to have to take a bite. And as we move into turn 3, it is now 4-4 in the model count, so advantage will go to the super mutants. And what probably makes the most sense, the mutant hound is going to try to finish off Dogmeat. Hitting on 6s. 6s is a hit with an armor break. And with 2 health left, 3 damage against 1 armor, there's no way that Dogmeat can stop it, so Dogmeat will crumple to the ground. Don't worry folks, he's okay. We all know that PCs never really die. But Dogmeat is out of action, allowing the Hound to turn his attention onto Benji. Hound bite on 6s. Oh, hard miss. That will close out his plan. And that puts a bit of a kink in the survivor's plan to go after the key, because that was going to be Dogmeat's job, and right now Benji's going to have to fight for his life. But for right now, we're going to return up for Survivor's turn, and we're going to go to Nora for next action. Rolling for VATS. 1 VATS. So Nora's going to have to kind of think fast in this situation. She's going to take an orange move off the Vertibird, or she's going to call it at least, which will give the Super Mutant Hound a free shot. Hitting on 4s for the quick action. And it's a miss. So Nora moves orange off of the Vertibird. And with a lot of tempting targets, she's going to instead take a yellow hustle into base contact with the computer. And that was her regular move. Making an expertise use computer check on a 5. Oh man. And she's staring at a blue screen that says, "We're getting everything ready for you, please wait." Meanwhile, the Brute's going to try to finish his charge and go crashing into Codsworth. He's going to be hitting on 8s. He's got a black die for being stupid strong, 2 yellow for the sledgehammer, and a green for the charge. 8s. Oh, this is going to suck. His fury is still in effect, so he's dealing a bonus damage. So the 2 armor break reduces Codsworth down to 1 armor, but he still has his 2 strong armor for being a survivor. So he blocks 1, 2, 3. He only takes 1 from that. Not bad. Brute swings for round 2, but without the charge bonus this time. On 8s, 6 again with another good set of hits. 5 damage against 2+1 armor. Alright, he blocks 2 and takes 3, bringing him to half health. And that also relieves him of all his strong armor bonuses, so he's just a regular Mr. Handy now. But Codsworth is going to have none of that, and he's going to swing back with his buzzsaw. Hitting on 6s with a yellow die. Good hit, bonus damage for 3 damage. 3 damage against 2 armor. And it all goes through. And I misspoke earlier when I said Codsworth was at half health. He has 6 health, so he's down to 2 remaining. The Brute is the one with 8 health. He has 4 remaining, so he's at half. Codsworth coming in for shot number 2. Oh, disappointment. Meanwhile, the Hound perched on top of the Vertibird has shaken off his pursuit of Nora. He's going to attack the nearest per his AI card, which is going to bring him down into a charge against good old Codsworth. I'm having real unsettling flashbacks to Season 1, Episode 1, and that didn't go so well for a little robot buddy. So here comes the Hound Dog special, plus a green die for having a friend, plus a black die for the charge, hitting on 6s against Codsworth 2 health. Oh my god. 7 and not a single -1. That would have been devastating. But Codsworth over here doing General Atomics proud, fending off all the madness and holding this position. Meanwhile, our boy Benji is going to try to slam the mutant hound with the butt of his rifle, hitting on 4s. Not even close. Will quite naturally provoke retaliation from the mutant hound. Hound dog special on 4s for the quick action. See, nothing there either. Now seeing a lot of options in his immediate future, Benji's going to try using his bolt-action pipe rifle in close combat. He's only hitting on 1s, but, you know, maybe he'll get lucky. Holy crap, he's lucky. He has 2 physical damage against the mutant hound's 2 armor now because he's shooting in close combat. And of course he blocks all of it. I know they're actually shooting and stuff and just nothing's happening, but in my head they're playing tug of war over that bolt rifle. Our last contender will decide that Nora's up to no good, and we'll do a charge action, swinging his board into the back of her head. Hitting on 6s, green die for the charge, black die for the board. It's a hit. Nora's still rocking 1 strong armor bonus, so she's at 3+1 armor, and she blocks it. But that is it for her strong armor bonus, and she's now going to have to suffice with regular armor. That actually closes out turn 3, so we've kind of isolated down to a few combats. We got this over here. Nora's reached the terminal, but she cannot use it while she's in close combat with someone else. Codsworth over here being an absolute lad. And then Benji and his new friend just kind of dancing and stalling for time over here. Let's move on to turn 4. And at the end of turn 3, the mole rat has decided no one's coming for his nest, so he tunnels back underground, making him technically the most successful faction in this fight so far. And it's a good thing he left because it has now begun to rain, so climbing tests for none of them that'll be going on will be at a -2 penalty. All right, at the start of turn 4, the advantage is back to the survivors, so they've got some interesting options here. Benji's holding his own. He's technically the only one who still has strong armor left, so he's unlikely to deal much damage down here, but he's holding down the mutant hound. Codsworth is in a bad spot. He likely will not survive the next round of attacks. Nora is within an inch of the objective, but she's got someone on her tail. So very careful decisions have to be made here, and I think we're going to go with Nora to begin. The success of which is mostly going to hinge on this VATS roll, so here we go, VATS. That's some good VATS. So with that in mind, Nora is going to exit combat. She's got an orange move as a quick action, and get a free attack from the mutant. Mutant hitting on 4s with the board. It's a hit. It's 2 damage against Nora's 3 armor, and she blocks both. Now that she's put some distance and is no longer engaged, she's going to try to frantically push buttons on the terminal. Use computer skill of 5. That's a success, good. Now she needs 2 of those successes in order to open the container, so the green light shows up on one door. Let's try for the other door. Winning the scenario on 5s. No. But now the big question, does she feel lucky? She still has 1 quick action after this if she needs it, but let's not, that would only be succeeding on 3s. So let's see, do you feel lucky? No, you don't. It's down to the quick action. Here we go. Quick action on 3s. It's a 4. She's going to use her 4th and final luck token. And the big finish. Still nothing. Denied. Password rejected, and that is it for her turn. Mutant Hound is going to go next, try to finish off old Codsworth. Got the Hound Dog special with a green die for outnumbering. That is a resounding hit with a broken leg? Broken thruster? I don't know how that works. Okay, it's a broken arm. I can read the game. All right, but that might not matter because Codsworth only has 2 health left, but he has 3 physical armor. He blocks it both. Due to his broken arm, he will take a -2 to all skill checks moving forward. Hound Dog coming in for attack number 2. Oh, that's a hit with plenty of breaking armor. That has 3 damage against now 1 armor, so Cosworth goes into shutdown mode. Now time for Benji to be a semi-hero. He's going to declare a move action, move in yellow. He's going to try to dial in some shots on that super mutant, keep him off Nora. But first, the Hound is going to get his free attack. Hound Dog special on 4s. 4s it is. It's 2 damage against 2 plus 1 armor. And Benji blocks it, but loses the last of his strong armor. But he is now in position to take a long bomb shot at the mutie. Hitting on 3s, because he's not that good of a shot. He's really not that good of a shot. Yeah, it's all starting to fall apart now. We're going to resolve the Mutant Hound next, who will, as hounds do, charge and bite. Hitting on 6s, green die for the charge. Hit, that's a hurt. That's a lot of hurt. 3 damage against 2 armor. Blocks 1, takes 2. Puts Benji down to 3 of his 5 health, but worse, he now has the broken arm and will be at -2 for his skill checks. Now the Fury has worn off of the Brute, so we're going to roll for an addiction check because drugs are bad, okay? Addiction on a star. No, he's fine. He's a Brute. This is like an average Thursday for him. He will turn, make a charge action. You guessed it, into Nora. Rolling a bonus black tie because stupid strong and another black die for the charge. Hitting on, I have to check. Hitting on 8s. No, hard miss. Super Mutant Buddy is the last one. He will swing around the other side of Nora, try to crowd her out from getting back to the power station on the next turn. That is, if she's even alive. He'll be rolling a black die for a board, green die for outnumber, black die for the charge, hitting on 6s. And another miss. She may be out of luck tokens, but this girl's incredibly lucky today. So that closes turn 4. We're going to move on to turn 5 now. We've got nothing but mutants and Nora up here. We got Benji dragging this thing by its grip on his ankle. And we're going to see what we can do in the final round. Our event card for turn 5 is a Predator's Roar, which no one pays attention to because they all have more pressing issues right now. Alright, the only advantage here to that kind of bloodbath is that the survivors still have advantage. So Nora's going to try to... Well, let's roll some VATs first. Rolling up them VATs. No VATs this time. Well, that is the unfortunate. So this is kind of the last-ditch gamble, for the survivors at least. Nora's going to do the same ploy. She's going to break away, drawing attacks from both of them in order to move around and get one last shot at getting to these supplies. Super Mutant Brute is hitting on 6s for the quick action. And a solid hit with a bonus damage and, of course, an armor break. 3 damage against 2 armor. That's not good. That brings Nora to 4 health of her 8. She's quite sturdy. She's a survivor and she's heroic. But we still get the Super Mutant with boards to go. And he's hitting on 4s. And he hits with the bonus damage. 3 damage against 3 armor. Oh, it's killing me. Come on. She blocks 2, only takes 1. So barely holding on, Nora is going to try to frantically punch in the code before these 2 can get their turn. All right, so here it is. Intelligence 5 for the used computer. No luck die, no bonuses, no nothing. This is just straight up dice rolling. On 5s. That blows. And with that, we're going to call this scenario a draw, because the survivors now cannot open the container. The muties would need 3 consecutive strength tests from the Brute, who obviously can't do that. And the key is still laying where it fell. This is going to be a draw as Nora orders the retreat. Benji drags Dogmeat out, and they'll come back for Codsworth once the muties are done poking him with the stick. This is going to be a not great finish for their first report, but hey, they're just kind of scraping by. So, I'm just going to vote here, but can we never do that again? I know, we can't keep doing this. We need somewhere safe, somewhere we can have walls and a home. Yeah, there's always that rusted out cargo ship. Probably not still full of ghouls. Yes, there's that. There's homes here. There's the graveyard. Oh yeah, let's take a nap on a nuke. Help me get Codsworth up. We'll talk about it. And that wraps up our very first episode of Fallout Season 3, Welcome to Daylight. For right now, if you guys could go to the link in the description below, that will take you to the poll where you can vote on where the team is going to set up camp. Your options are going to be the Dead Reckoning, which was the abandoned cargo ship from Season 2, the Homestead, which was from Season 1, the house they ran to, in I think the second episode, or the Aircraft Graveyard, which has been featured in several episodes and is probably still infested with muties. Oh well. Your guys' decision, go and vote there on Wednesday night or Thursday morning, whichever. I will take a look at the poll, figure out where we're going to go next, and we will start to build, and I mean physically build on a board, the Settlement of Daylight. Thanks for watching.